Recorded Books and RB Digital present Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Getaway, by Jeff Kinney. Narrated by Ramon Diocampo. December. Sunday. The worst part of having someone tell you about their vacation is trying to pretend you're happy for them. Because no one wants to hear about all the fun they didn't have, like getting to go on a hot air balloon ride. The only vacations I want to hear about are the ones where things went wrong, like having your hot air balloon ride ruined by getting stuck in a tree. That way, I don't feel bad for missing out. Well, my family just got back from vacation, and believe me, if I could have stayed home, I would have. But I didn't have a choice. A few weeks ago, this vacation wasn't even supposed to happen. We were just having a normal December, and I was really looking forward to Christmas. But Mom and Dad were getting all stressed out about everything we had to do to get ready for the holidays. We were way behind on decorating the house, and nothing was going the way it was supposed to, including when our Christmas tree fell over and lots of ornaments broke. I'm sure we could have gotten our act together in time for Christmas. But one night, an ad came on TV that totally turned our holidays upside down. The ad said, "Escape to luxury. Escape to paradise." The commercial was for this place called Isla de Corrales, which is where Mom and Dad went for their honeymoon. And the reason I know that is because every time an ad for that place comes on TV, the two of them get all kissy-faced. It makes me uncomfortable thinking about Mom and Dad before they had us kids. And I wouldn't have to if Mom didn't break out their honeymoon album every year on their anniversary. The night after that ad came on, Mom and Dad made an announcement. They said that this year, we were going to skip Christmas and all go to Isla de Corrales instead. When I asked how we were going to get our gifts to the resort, Mom said the trip was our gift. I thought that sounded like a terrible idea, and I was surprised Dad was on board with it. He usually doesn't like to spend a lot of money, and I'm sure this resort was going to cost a fortune. But he said he was sick of the cold weather, and he wanted to escape to someplace warm. Personally, I don't have a problem with cold weather. In fact, generally speaking, the worse it is outside, the happier I am. What could be more peaceful than sipping hot cocoa by the fire while Dad shovels the driveway? I figured Manny and Roderick would help me talk some sense into Mom and Dad, and we'd put a stop to this idea. But those guys weren't any help at all. They were already walking around the house in sunglasses and swimsuits. So I had to accept that we weren't going to have a normal Christmas at home. But what I really didn't like was that we had to fly to this place. I'd never been on a plane before, and I wasn't crazy about the idea of locking myself in a metal tube. Nobody else seemed worried, though, and 2 weeks later, on a night when we should have been hanging up our stockings and sitting around the fire watching Christmas specials, we were packing our suitcases for this island getaway. Monday. We left the house around 8 o'clock on the morning of Christmas Eve. Dad was pretty uptight because he wanted to leave an hour earlier, but Mom said he was being ridiculous and we'd get to the airport in plenty of time. It was only about 20 degrees outside, but Roderick was already dressed for warm vacation weather. It turns out Dad was right. We should have left earlier. Apparently, Christmas Eve is one of the busiest travel days of the year, so the roads were choked with families driving to see their relatives. And nobody really seemed to be in the Christmas spirit either. What made things a lot worse was when it started to snow. After that, things slowed to a crawl. Mom and Dad started arguing over what time we should have left, and Dad almost missed the exit for the airport. He had to cut across
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.